Hey guys, and happy Sunday. It is me again, and I'm coming to you with a nailed it or failed it challenge. So, I was going to use this cutting board that I had got from, or I don't even know if it's a cutting board. I think it's like a paddle sign or something, but I got it at Goodwill a while ago, and I thought it would be big enough, but it's just not wide enough for what I want to do with it. But I am going to use it kind of as a guide to make what I'm trying to make here. So I'm just going to kind of pencil it out just so I know where to cut and kind of get the right shape and the right size. So for today's challenge, it's the nailed it or failed it challenge. So I need you guys to let me know at the end of the video whether you think I nailed it or I failed it. And I know I said this in the other video, but there's a few challenges that I really like, and this is one of the ones that I like because I like to duplicate things. I like to not duplicate, but like take high-end pieces or expensive pieces and make them for less and out of material that you wouldn't either think of using or that you just have laying around or whatever. So I really do like this challenge, and I love the hosts. You definitely need to check them out. It's Mama Dares to DIY and Sweeter Urban Rose. And these ladies are so sweet and they're awesome and so talented. So definitely go check their channels out. I will put them in the description box along with the link to the playlist. And if you're coming over from the playlist, welcome and thank you for joining me. And for all my returning viewers, thank you for coming back, and I really appreciate you guys. And guys, I am at a little bit over 400 subscribers, which to me is just amazing. So thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. At 500 viewers, at 500 subscribers, I think I'm going to do like a little giveaway, just to show you guys how much I thank you and appreciate you. So be sure to subscribe, and again, check out the playlist and check out the channels for the hosts, because like I said, you don't want to miss their the stuff that they put out, because it's awesome. So definitely go check them out. And so what I did again is I'm just penciling it out, trying to get the right shape, the right size, because like I said, I couldn't make that other piece work because it was just too narrow. So I just took this foam board from Dollar Tree. I stenciled out the shape of it, and I had to take it outside to cut it because I don't have a cutting mat big enough to use for this, because this is pretty big. So I wasn't able to use my the little cutting mat that I have because it's just too small. So I did just take it outside and I cut it. And it took me a while to kind of get the right shape, especially for this little top piece. I just couldn't get it to measure out the right way or kind of stencil out the right way. So it took me a minute to make sure I got that right. But yeah, once I got it the way that I wanted it, it was fine. It was perfect. And now, excuse me, I'm just kind of trying to measure out how big, or if how many, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. I'm just trying to figure out what size I was going to need to cut those chalkboard stickers out. I got those chalkboard stickers at Dollar Tree as well. I wish I had grabbed more, but I think I only grabbed like 2 packs, and now I've used a pack and a half, and I really wish I would have gotten more, but it is what it is. I'm, finally using this last pack, and so I'll try and hold on to them as long as possible, or hope that my Dollar Tree gets them again. But yeah, so I just measured it out just to make sure that, I only needed the one, and if I needed to use another one, then that's fine. But it ended up measuring out to like 1.5 inches, and then I put a 1/2 inch space in between, and right now I'm just kind of marking it off, so that's why you didn't see me doing anything, but I was marking off the bottom part, just to make sure that I had enough room to put the stickers and write what I needed to write on top. So I just wanted to make sure that I had enough space on there, so that's why I'm measuring it out like this, and I'm doing it on the back so that you can't see it. See all the pencil markings on the front side. And like I said, just doing this to make sure that I'm cutting the right size or measuring them out the right, width. So this is what it looks like once I cut it off, and I'm just going to kind of clean up some of the edges that were a little bit uneven. Um, I'm not really good at cutting straight lines, so I try, but it doesn't always work. Most of the time, my lines are they're horrible. And I can't write in a straight line most of the time unless I'm using like lined paper or a ruler or something. So I think for doing it by hand, this came out great. So, like I said, this handle part was giving me the flux because I just could not get it the way that I wanted it. So it took me a few times to kind of cut it down and reshape it and shape it, the way that I wanted it. And, it's foam board, so sometimes the pieces get stuck on the X-Acto knife. And this is a brand new one and it still kind of got stuck a little bit. So, I just had to kind of adjust it and fix up all the little pieces. But look at, oh my God, how annoying. The piece just wasn't cutting. I just couldn't get it to cut right. So I, just kept going, and I was hoping that I didn't make it so thin that it wasn't going to work. But thank God I got it to work and it fits, and it's not too skinny and doesn't look too funny. So I just cleaned it up a little bit, and that was it for the handle. And once I finish doing that, I'll get working on the stickers, cutting those out, measuring those out. And I hope I didn't bore you. I think I recorded the whole thing, and I'm trying to remember if I edited it out. And I'm sorry if I didn't. It's probably going to be super long. And I wanted to punch a hole in it with the hole puncher, but the foam board was just too thick, so I couldn't do that. So I went ahead, I'm starting to measure out these chalkboard pieces or chalk sticker pieces. And I don't know why I showed that to you upside down, but hey, you know what? Usually when I record it the opposite way. That's why. Okay. I'm not too crazy. And I thought about just putting it on here like this, but I was like, nope, I'm going to keep true to the way that it's supposed to be, and I'm going to measure it out and cut it the right way. So that's what I did. I just measured it out on the back, and I was able to just go through and use I have a little small paper cutter right there, and I love that thing. I got it at a thrift store some time back, and it's come in so handy, especially using like smaller sheets. And it cuts those pieces perfectly. So so I measured these out to about 1.5 inches each, and just made sure there was 7 and I cut them with my little paper cutter there. And like I said, this is the perfect size, for little projects like this, because I do have a bigger one. But like I said, this is perfect for little projects like this. And actually, I think this one works better than my big one. The big one kind of snags a little bit. This one cuts right through it. So I really like it. And it was like $2 or something like that. So once I finished cutting them all out, then I went ahead and kind of measured out on the cutting board, made sure that I put them on there evenly, and I tried to make sure that they were lined up properly so that they weren't like, looking crazy and crooked. So I did my best to make sure that they were as even as possible. And again, because I did cut this out by hand, it's not completely perfect, but I think it came out great. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these on there, kind of measuring where I want it to start. And these stickers are pretty forgiving as far as like if you put it on and it doesn't, you have to reposition it. It repositions pretty well. So like I said, they're pretty forgiving. But I wouldn't keep repositioning them, especially if you're using them on paper, because they will pull up the paper a little bit, and then they're not as sticky. So I couldn't get the backing off of a lot of them. It took me a while to get them off. But once I finished putting the stickers on, I just, like I said, went through, measured that they were equal and even, separate. What am I saying? They're divided equally on the cutting board. And so that was it. I used my L ruler. L ruler, is that what it's called? My ruler from Dollar Tree also. And I'm just trying to measure everything out. So that's it for the stickers. And like I said, I think I put like a 1/2 inch in between all of them. and I thought I cut some more of this out, but clearly I didn't. And then because I recorded all of this, later in the video it cuts off at a certain part, which kind of sucked because I was done before I realized it. I was already done doing the part that I was recording. So sorry about that, but it's you know, it happens, and just kind of go with the flow. So I went ahead and put all 7 of the chalkboard stickers on there, one for every day of the week. And I'm not going to bore you with showing you how I did every single one of them. So this is what it looks like once I put the 7 on there. And I think the spacing was perfect because I have just enough space on top to write menu and everything else on there. And I got this stencil from Dollar Tree a while back. I've had it for a while, and I think this is actually the first time that I'm using it. Now in my inspiration photo, it's a fork and a knife, I believe, but the stencil didn't have a knife, and I didn't want to mess up the picture trying to draw a knife, so I just used a spoon instead, and it looks cute. I think it worked out just fine. And then I just kind of hand drew a little heart in the middle there, like the picture. And I was going to use some stickers from Dollar Tree, but I think they were too big, so I just ended up handwriting all the letters on here. Now my handwriting isn't great, but it's pretty simple lettering, so I just kind of wrote it out and just went with it. And I think, you know, it looks a lot like the inspiration piece, so it wasn't too bad. And I mean, like I said, my handwriting is not great, so don't think that you have to have perfect handwriting. I don't know how to do all those special letters and all that stuff. I just kind of made a bunch of capital letters on there and called it a day. And I started it off in pencil just in case I had to, you know, well, as you see, if I make mistakes or whatever, just erase it and redo it. And what I end up doing is, and this is the part that ended up getting, sorry about the background noise, but the kids are moving around, so there is going to be noise in the background, so sorry about that. But yeah, so I just took my pencil, wrote it all out, and the part that ended up getting deleted or not recorded or whatever was when I I traced over it with the black Sharpie, and I didn't even realize that my camera wasn't working or wasn't even recording anymore. But yeah, that's the part that kind of got erased. So once I was done writing it out, I went over it with the black Sharpie, and this is how it turned out. So once I finished that, I took these little Avery, what are they called? I guess they're the protectors for when you punch holes in your papers, and so they don't tear. And I just took a few of them and put them on top of each other, so it gave it a little bit more dimension, because in the photo, you can kind of see the little circle up there. And I think because it's so white, it's washing it out right now, but you'll be able to see it, especially, that's my doggy. You'll be able to see it once I finish cutting the hole in it. And yeah, I just took my X-Acto knife, cut the little circle out, and that was it, guys. It was just that simple, and I think it came out perfect, and I think it's going to be super cute in my kitchen or in my dining room, whichever one. I haven't decided yet. Right now I have it hanging in my dining room, but I haven't quite decided if it's going to stay there or not. So that is it. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration. And until the next time, be the reason someone smiles. Bye, guys.